Hello everybody, this is Lara from Pure Elliott Wave with an update for you on Wednesday 5th of June 2024. As I let you know last week, I'm driving from the north to the south of France this week, so that's why I was not able to update for you Monday and Tuesday, but I've got a little bit of time today, so I'll give it a quick go. Also, thank you so much to everyone who responded to my question about that microphone. I agree, the quality was not good enough and I've returned it and the search continues. I need to find something less bulky and heavy. That's the problem, so I'm trying to find a good lapel mic that will work with my Mac. Bitcoin is moving higher. It's hitting resistance again at 71,500. There is some push from volume, so this is bullish. But I want to see a close above upper resistance, final resistance at 73,100 on an upward session with support from volume before I have confidence that we have an upward breakout. And I might even give it a 2 or 3 day away rule. If we can see 2 or 3 days up and away after a break above resistance, then I really would have confidence that we're on the way up for the next strong bullish run. And then I would expect support at prior resistance in this area here. Price still remains within this rectangle. We do not have a breakout yet, but for the short term, this is looking a little bit bullish. We might be about to get an upward breakout. If we don't, resistance could again entirely hold at 71,500 to 73,100, and we could get a downward swing again to support 60,700, most likely, possibly final support below that 58,200. We need to see a breakout of this rectangle before we can have confidence that this big consolidation is finally over and the next bullish run most likely is underway. If we get a break below support, which I think is very unlikely, look for next support at 55,000. For the short term, we have day on day volume increasing as price moves higher. This is bullish for Bitcoin, although overall as price moves sideways within the rectangle, volume is still declining. That's absolutely normal for a consolidation, and consolidations are really healthy parts of a larger bullish run, and the larger picture at the monthly time frame for Bitcoin remains very, very bullish. Keep your eyes on the bigger picture, people. On balance volume is hitting resistance. I've got a little consolidation here with contracting lines, so if we get another upward session for a close above this line for Wednesday, we could have a bullish signal. It wouldn't be a very strong one though. This line is somewhat long held. It's got a fairly shallow slope, but it's probably only got 2 tests, the minimum number that you need to draw a line. So a break above that line would be a somewhat weak bullish signal, so it may suggest a little bit more upward movement to final resistance and not necessarily a big upward breakout from that big rectangle. ADX is bullish today. It's increasing from a not very low, but somewhat low level. It's above 15, but it increased from below 20. It has a positive slope. The positive DX line is above the negative. ADX tells us at the daily time frame there is now an upward trend for Bitcoin. RSI is neutral, quite a long way to go before ADX reaches very extreme and RSI reaches as overbought as it can get. It can reach deeply overbought and remain there for quite a while price moves a considerable distance. This is an extremely volatile market. Its bullish runs can reach very, very extreme. Money flow is also neutral. As I said in my last video, I think I add in money flow. I use it in exactly the same way as I do with RSI, but sometimes RSI doesn't show divergence at the end of trends, so it's not always helpful in assisting to identify trend changes, but because money flow adds a volume component to its calculation, it can be more sensitive than RSI, and sometimes it will identify divergence when RSI does not. That's how and why I use it. ATR continues to decline as price moves sideways overall within this consolidation. Even with this little upward swing, no problem there. Absolutely normal behavior for volatility to decline during a consolidation. This relieves extreme conditions and sets the market up for its next run. Very quickly, technicals on Ethereum. It's moving sideways. It broke above what was resistance at 3680, multiple tests of support now in this area, and this sideways movement may be a small pennant pattern. I am calculating the flagpole from this high to this low, adding that to the breakout point on this high of this candlestick, maybe about 4954. Pennants and flags are reliable continuation patterns. As long as this pennant remains viable, if we see an upward breakout by a close above this line on an upward session, which must have push from volume for confidence in the upward breakout, if we see that, then we can use the target I've calculated here at 4954. Needs to have resistance at 4100 and 4200 broken through first though, and it may not move in a very straight line up toward this target from the pennant, but it should be a reasonably straight line. The volume profile for Ethereum remains very strongly bullish. The last strong bullish run had really strong push from volume, and now price is moving sideways within the pennant with declining volume. Absolutely normal behavior. It's normal to have consolidations and pullbacks along the way in bullish runs. ADX still tells us there's an upward trend for Ethereum, which is extreme, but not nearly as extreme as it can get. It'll be very extreme if the black ADX line reaches above 45, but it can get really extreme. The black ADX line can get above 80 when Ethereum has a strong bullish run at the daily time frame. RSI is neutral. A long way to go before this reaches as extremely overbought as it can get. It can reach deeply overbought and remain there while price travels a considerable distance. This market has a very strong bullish bias and extreme volatility. Money flows quite a long way from overbought. Well, reasonable way. ATR strongly declining as price moves sideways within the pennant. That is absolutely normal behavior. Really good to see a little consolidation along the way, and a helpful one, a reliable continuation pattern to give us a target. The Elliott Wave count for XRP, I'm a little bit concerned. I don't think my little triangle here is going to complete. I think maybe the second wave might have been complete at this low here, or maybe the triangle's just continuing sideways. Either way, I think what's most likely a best look for XRP is still a little 5-wave motive structure to end at or below 0.4788, probably not too much below that, before the next upward swing begins. Very quickly, technicals for XRP, still within this ascending triangle. I've slightly adjusted the support line. Ascending triangles most commonly break out upwards, so we'll expect that's most likely. We need to see a close above this resistance line on an upward session, which must have push from volume in order for confidence in an upward breakout. If that happens, then I'll calculate a target from the ascending triangle once I know the breakout point, and we've had the breakout, and I'll be using the base width of the triangle added to the breakout point in order to calculate a bullish target from that. Along the way up, resistance 60 cents, 0.675 and 82 cents. As price moves sideways within that big ascending triangle, volume is declining, normal behavior. On balance volume remains within a fairly tight range, and these lines are contracting. We will get a signal, but we don't have one yet. ADX is really close to 15. This is going to be a very strong signal. If ADX reaches above 15, has a positive slope, it will at this point indicate a downward trend for XRP because the negative DX line remains above the positive. If that happens, have a little bit of confidence in my Elliott Wave count actually, and not expect that little downward swing for that little C wave. But it's not there yet. We don't have a signal either way today. As price moves sideways within the big ascending triangle, ATR as a measure of volatility is strongly declining. That is absolutely normal behavior during these big consolidation patterns. Very quickly, my updated main Elliott Wave count for Solana sees primary wave 4 to continue lower as a big zigzag, for intermediate C to move at least at or beyond the end of intermediate A, so at or below 119.38481 in order to avoid a truncation, and my target is the 0.618 Fibonacci ratio at 115.59176. Intermediate C may only subdivide as a 5-wave motive structure, most likely an impulse, and within it, minor wave 1, from this high to this low, this downward movement has a really good look and a decent fit as a 5-wave impulse, and now minor wave 2 may be completing as a zigzag A, B, C, minute C to move beyond the end of A, to make a new high at or above 173.36679. Has it done that today? Ah, yes, it has. Okay, it could be complete. This little zigzag for minor wave 2, we could be seeing a third wave down for minor wave 3 within intermediate wave C, which should have push from volume and an increase in momentum and range on the way down. Alternatively, this doesn't have as good a look. There are a bunch of problems with this wave count in terms of Elliott Wave. Primary wave 4 doesn't look right as a double combination. I keep saying zigzag X flat, It's overall got a downward bias. It's not a sideways movement. It's got a sharp counter trend movement. That's not what a combination should look like. And now within intermediate wave 1, minor 2 a zigzag, minor 3, minor 4 could be a double zigzag, but you have to ignore what looks like a fairly decent 5-wave structure down here to see a zigzag complete here, expanded flat for X, and a little zigzag for Y, which has only moved slightly beyond the end of W. The structure meets Elliott Wave rules. It doesn't really have a great look. So again, this wave count has problems in terms of Elliott Wave. It expects a 5th wave up now to a target about 200 for 5 to reach equality in length with 1. If 4 continues further, it may not move into wave 1 price territory below 158.37582. A note about that Elliott Wave rule: 4 may not overlap 1. It can touch 1. The rule is overlap. I have seen every now and then 4th waves meet at exactly the same price point as the end of the first wave. There's no overlap in that case, and so the rule is met. The rule is clear. No overlap is allowed. Any new low by any amount at any time frame, a fraction of a cent on a tick chart, invalidates this wave count, and that would give quite a lot of confidence to the main Elliott Wave count at this stage for Solana. Technicals for Solana: it's moving sideways. Looks like it's broken above what was resistance at 168. Resistance turns to support. Look for next resistance above now at 190. It's moving higher with, for the very short term, a little bit of a push from volume. So for the short term, the volume profile is still bullish for Solana. Not as clear as Ethereum, but it is bullish. ADX is at a really low level. The DX lines are whipsawing. There is no clear trend at this time frame for Solana. ATR strongly declines as price is moving sideways. There is declining volatility as price is moving sideways, which is normal behavior for a consolidation. The model of stochastics plus support and resistance would now expect stochastics reached oversold, price was at support. It would now expect an upward swing from price to continue to identified resistance and for stochastics to continue higher to reach overbought before that upward swing may end when they reach those areas simultaneously. That's it for my very quick update for you today before I get back on the road heading down toward the south of France to hopefully get some excellent surf for about 4 weeks. Thank you so much for your patience with my fewer updates this week.